I am rolling.
Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic Podcast number 1788. Here we go. June 1st, meteorological summer. June 1st, 2026. 92 degrees, the record high on this day. That was in 1939. And it was 37 degrees at some time, at some point during the day on this day in 1946. Call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Soucheray.
I got many emails from GL'ers who enjoyed the book Theo of Golden that we talked about the other day, and among them was Christy Stranick, who wrote Theo of Golden was the best book I have ever read. Total thumbs up. Well, I can't say that, but there's no accounting for people's favorite books. I thought it was wonderful. And a Memorial Day ray of hope that just came in. Well, it came in Friday. From Tony, who said, when biking on the Gateway Trail on Memorial Day, I met 4 young men marching from North St. Paul Veterans Memorial to Duluth Junction and returning. Does that mean the city of Duluth, or is there some junction on that Gateway Trail that turns around at Duluth Street in Minneapolis? Out Golden Valley way, there's Duluth Street.
I've never been on it. I don't know.
Marching from North St. Paul Veterans Memorial to Duluth Junction and returning. I bet it was local.
Duluth Junction, Joe. I'm sorry, go ahead, Chris.
Go on, you tell me.
It's located in Washington County in the Stillwater area.
Oh, really?
It's a neighborhood.
I never heard of it. I'll be damned. They were marching from North St. Paul Veterans Memorial to Duluth Junction and returning. No sponsor or organization supporting them. Just 4 friends honoring our servicemen and women on Memorial Day. I didn't think young people did this kind of thing anymore. I believe they are North St. Paul High School students. Their names are Zong Tao, Ryan Cordes, James Lensing, and Miguel Revering. And he gave me a photo of them, and hats off to those 4 young guys. Huh?
That's awesome.
What's wrong with your microphone,
Is his
Matthew?
mic not working?
Mine?
Check.
No,
1, 2,
Matthew.
check. 1, 2, check.
Yeah, it's not.
I hear it sounds like it's not. It's not.
Okay, hang on.
That's, you know what? Just leave it like that.
I'd go home if I were you, Matt. Matt, just go home. You logged in, right?
Yeah, I logged in, so I'm good.
Let's get this out of the way because I take it seriously, and I want you guys to. Joe is a longtime student at the University of Garage Logic and someone who's attended classes religiously for the past 30-plus years. I write to you today for the first time with mixed emotions. A little anger, some disappointment, and a touch of sadness. As someone I've come to respect for your logical, common-sense approach to topics grounded in deep thought and supported by detailed research, your show yesterday, which would have been Thursday, 5/28, just this past Thursday, demonstrated a lack of both. As the father of 2 adult sons, both with an autism diagnosis, it was hard to listen to you, Ken and Chris, opine about topics you clearly know little about and demonstrate a lack of understanding regarding autism and what people with it deal with on a daily basis. Make no mistake, nothing angers me more than the fraud perpetrated in this state on the backs of my boys and people like him. I greatly appreciate your advocacy in rooting out the bad actors and ensuring hard-earned tax dollars are used in legitimate and meaningful ways. But your willingness to flippantly discuss the topic using comments like turning them loose, go outside, and letting them run around the bases, equating it to the overdiagnosis of baseball injuries and insinuating that much of it is made up, is lazy at best and irresponsible and dangerous at worst. This is a legitimate topic and one worth discussing. But before taking it up again, you need to understand it. As a spectrum disorder, it impacts each individual uniquely and can look very different from one person to the next. That makes it hard to understand for people who are not directly impacted by it. Heck, it's hard even for me after supporting people with it for more than 20 years. Please do your research, talk to people who live with it, and spend time learning about this very complex disorder. And while it's not possible for you to walk a mile in their shoes, perhaps you can find ways to walk alongside them and their families and offer a helping hand instead of minimizing the prevalence in our society today. Steve, Tonka Bay. Well, I'm sorry.
But can I add something?
You may. But his letter is very sincere and
It is.
heartfelt, and it struck home because he's a parent.
The very reason we're angry at the absolute thievery of the autism program dollars is for the very reason he's emailing. We're not diminishing the fact that there are kids that need this. What we're diminishing is the fact that we're getting robbed blind by the very people robbing those funds. I have someone very close to me that relies on the housing subsidy that it basically has been shut down.
Right.
And I'm mad at that.
It hasn't basically been shut down. It's been shut down.
The people that came to this country, Muhammad, that have been robbing this state for billions of dollars, that's who we're angry at.
He knows that.
I know, but we're not diminishing the fact that...
No, I think he acknowledged that we're not doing that. I think what I took away from that is we need to educate ourselves on exactly what autism is before we talk in depth on it.
I would ask him to cut us some. He owes us nothing.
Sure.
He owes us nothing. But I would ask him to take into consideration that I think, if I'd have to replay it, but I think most of the comments occurred after we discovered an 11,000% increase in autism.
Yeah.
Demands for
No,
money.
11,000 was in North Carolina. Here, it was 56,000% increase.
And Steve perfectly, he knows perfectly well that that's absurd, and that was what we were talking about. But it hit home because he's
I can't disagree with anything.
This.
Yeah, I can't disagree with him. He's right.
Say and congratulations to us,
Oh,
the people of Minnesota.
You.
Got the JFK Courage Award, Profile and Courage Award, presented to Twin Cities residents for the ice surge response. And I think it was a surge that required a response.
wasn't he assassinated?
Yes. What's that got to do with anything?
By the CIA.
I want to see who the 4 Twin Cities residents were who accepted the award on our behalf. Maybe it doesn't even say. I won't even bother to look. But Caroline Kennedy was in town, and Jack Schlossberg. Schlossberg, yeah. But I think the Twin Cities, if you're going to give that award away, I think the Twin Cities
Just get a
would
check
deserve it.
for that, or a
I don't
trophy,
know. I don't know
or
if money.
just get a hug,
I don't know if money.
maybe a pat on the head,
I don't know
half
if
a
money-
cookie.
Do you want the 4 people, Joe? I have
Yes,
them.
yes,
If you need them.
yes.
Natalie Arett, who's the founder of Haven Watch. I don't know what Haven Watch
I don't
does.
either.
Carolina Ortiz, Associate Executive Director of Copel.
I don't know what that is either.
I don't either. Zena Stenvik, Superintendent of Columbia Heights Public Schools. And Imam Youssef Abdul, co-founder of the Somali American Leadership Table. Those 4.
The only one I understand would be the representative from the Columbia Heights Public Schools, because that's where the little kid with the rabbit hat was taken out of school and shipped off to Texas.
She was involved in the whole situation, if you remember, quoted many times in that story.
Boys, we have to face our reputation. Did we curse Lisa Demuth?
It's the first thing I thought about.
My God, the woman didn't even win the endorsement. We had her on Thursday. No, we had her on last Tuesday. And I
remember what
love
she
Kendall
said?
Qualls. I'm going to be rooting for Kendall.
We'll never hear from him again.
But Kendall will probably say to his people, if the Garage Logic people call, Tell them we're busy.
Block their number.
Do not
We're not
let
home.
them get me on their show.
Do you remember what she said if she did not get the endorsement?
She would abide by it.
Yep.
Now, do you
But
think,
she's already having second thoughts about that
and don't you think she has good reason to?
because of some controversy regarding electronic voting.
Correct.
Yeah, about which I know zero.
I guess it was a real cluster.
I don't know what to say.
May I ask a really dumb question? What is the process then? I mean, we all head up to Duluth.
Serious activists go to the endorsing conventions. It's true of both parties.
Yep.
Serious activists, you'll recall, endorsed Scott Jensen when they could have just as easily endorsed Kendall Qualls, and Scott Jensen lost. Serious activists have now endorsed Kendall Qualls. I don't know what that portends, but I do know that apparently elections are now so impossibly
Complex.
they're usually bollocksed up. And they're no longer cut and dried. They're no longer black and white. They're no longer simple. Somebody hiccups in the back row and there's an objection because that noise disturbed me and I think my electronic vote was changed. And I don't know how the electronic voting works. I don't know what little devices they held in their hands. And you know what? Life's too short for me to wonder about it. I don't give a bleep.
Yeah, yes, you do. Let's get down to the real nitty gritty here.
Okay.
I'm going to talk to you face to face, man to man here. Number one, who has a better chance of beating Amy? Number two, who can sit down on day one and do that job better, Kendall or Lisa?
Let's answer the first question first. I don't have any idea who's better to beat Amy, Lisa or Kendall. And on that question, I give you a toss-up. I think Kendall is a very applied, serious guy. I think he knows the task he faces. I think he knows the odds he faces, just like Lisa would know the odds she faces. And I think he would have as good a chance as Lisa to beat Amy Klobuchar.
In my opinion, and I know you and I have talked about this at length in the past, it's going to once again be about those independent voters who could go either way.
Right.
And that'll make the difference.
On the
All right, question number two.
The second part of your question, just by virtue of having been in the mix and working in the state house, it might be thought that she would have a better idea of what to do on day one. Just
How to
because
get things done.
But she didn't get anything. I was too light on her on this aspect of our interview with her, but at some point, the Republicans have to, well, I guess they don't. I want to say that the Republicans have to have some responsibility for the fraud, too. They're in the building. They're helping run things.
You did ask her
Were they
about
not
that.
loud enough soon enough? I don't know. But no one who works for the Walz administration who fomented this fraud is a Republican.
But you did ask her that.
I don't remember if I did or not.
The conversation came up, and she basically said, I remember her answer. She said, we didn't have enough support to get different types of legislation passed.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And that's the problem. It's not the fault of those who had been raising their voice. The problem is they're either shouted down or they're outvoted or a combination of both.
One more question, Joe.
Thanks, Adam.
Oh, my.
It's working. It's working.
Oh, you're back
Yes,
on the
yes, yeah.
Oh, hey, you guys are back on.
Thank you.
Do you think those Republican activists you made mention of hurt the party and hurt the chances of Republican governor?
I have a little speech prepared about that. Seems to me that the only chance, and I've said this from day one, the only chance Republicans have is to drive home how significantly, this state has been turned upside down under DFL rule. And they've got to stick to Minnesota. Because the convention was attended by the activists, there was far too much Trumpism for my taste and not enough Minnesota is destroyed. I'm here to fix it. Trump has nothing to do with Minnesota.
Right.
He didn't cause the fraud. He didn't. I leave Trump completely out of it if I'm a Republican candidate who wants to be governor of Minnesota. I don't see you winning the independents if you're throwing around some Trump praise. I just don't see you winning the independents.
But won't it inevitably come up from the mouths of the Democrats? Because that's exactly what will happen.
Let them, well, the Democrats...
They're all running against
will
Trump.
hide their own complicity in the destruction of this state by running against Trump. Let them. Let them. That will not impress independents. It will not impress the people who want to get this state back onto a financial footing. So if I'm Kendall or I'm Lisa, Trump is never going to cross my lips. I'm never saying his name. I want nothing to do with him. And in that convention, there was quite a bit of Trump stuff.
But the Klobuchar campaign will focus heavily
That's
on...
her problem. I'm telling you what the Republicans should do.
I get that, but I guess what I'm trying to say is the reason they're doing it is because they know it will resonate with the moderate voter.
If you're inside the Kendall War Room, how are you going? What kind of campaign are you going to run now?
I'm going to come out on the public and say, do you realize how much of your tax money has been wasted by this DFL governance for the last 8 years?
You going to attack Amy on a personal level? You're
Not
just
on a
going to go with her
not on a
record? What are you going to do?
I'm going to say this woman has coasted along in the Senate for 20 years and has never really made any waves about anything and has never really led any charge at all to undo her own party's responsibility for fraud. Where does she stand on this? Amy, you owe this. You owe us all an explanation, and your failure to provide it is an indictment of your belief that the DFL leadership is still the way this state should go, and it's not. If you want to restore this state to any sanity, we've got to have a new look at the way we operate.
I would go full throttle against Amy on everything she's not done.
But there's no need to be personal. I mean, Amy's everybody's favorite aunt, and she's bringing the apple pie to the picnic. That's great. But we're going to run out of money to even have a picnic here if we keep this up. So I don't do anything. I just point out Amy's invisibility.
What about the stuff from years ago where we found out she's not exactly nice to the help?
The Caesar salad deal?
Because she ate salad with a comb. Who hasn't?
You know a guy that ate Thousand Island dressing.
The whole bowl. He thought it was soup. So I don't.
Did he also eat potpourri?
I did.
No, that was Joe.
Me.
At his aunt's house.
No, at my house.
Oh, was it at your house?
It was our house.
Oh.
Were they good?
It was crunchy.
You'd be beatable if somebody ran against you. You'd be very beatable.
When you run
with
for
the
re-election in Gumption County, are you also running against Trump?
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're not.
I'm
Okay.
running for the sake of the state of Minnesota.
Oh, hey, you guys are back on the air.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
Got her.
Man, I was looking at my garage floor again.
What'd you see?
Really would like to have a nice chat with Installed Building Solutions. I just don't know what it would take to redo my floor. I have the original epoxy garage floor, and it's neat. They're wonderful. But mine is worn out, and Installed Building Solutions, they're using the new technology, the latest stuff, polyurea. I don't know what that is, but I trust them that it's the best because it's not like the old school. It doesn't peel up. It doesn't harbor tire marks. It doesn't fade. And best of all, if you live in Minnesota, which we do, these floors have a grit in them. They have a non-skid device, and that's crucial. I've gone down too many times to count on that stuff.
Yep.
But it's just gorgeous, and it's the only way to keep your cylinders. Is you can hose these babies out. You can clean up spilled oil. You know the drill. These are the floors to have. And with that slip-resistant texture, that would be a real blessing during wet Minnesota winters. It's ibscoating.com. These guys install only the latest technology in the best garage floors around. IBS Coating, that's one word, Coating. ibscoating.com.
Hail the flashlight king.
Whoopsie.
I was 17, my old man was 55. If you do the math between the two of us, that's 72 years alive. An eternity, so it seemed to me. How could anything live that long? Now I say my folks were only 84 the year that they passed on. For a little while it seems you got to
seconds, Chris. You got to fix that right now.
God, why is this doing this? I'm even hitting stop scripts and it's not.
Is there a mirror there? Maybe that would tell you what's wrong.
All right. Here's what I'm going to do, fellas.
What?
Just give me a second, please.
There's a funny lead story on the Star Tribune website right now. Offices are pressure cookers demanding that workers come in more often. Really turns up the heat.
Stop fucking playing. What the hell? This is going on forever.
More people in the office leads to high overall stress.
Jesus Christ.
It's live.
I'm doing.
This guy wears many hats, just not indoors. Joe Souchere.
To quote the legendary broadcaster Matthew Mikulski, "'Tis the season."
Oh, you know it is the season. I'm not even sure what the season is yet, but tell me, because I know it is.
Rain, heat, humidity, and bugs. Turn that frown upside down. Get some bugs be gone to ease the pain of cleaning the windshield, the grill, the bumper of whatever you're driving. Or maybe you're on a motorbike. You absolutely need bugs be gone there. It's safe to use. Well, let's start with you. It's safe to use on your helmet, your visor, leathers. Moving on, the windscreen, the headlight, fender chrome paint. It won't stain plastic parts, and it's safe for the environment. It's not safe for dead bugs, though. Bugs Be Gone works on actually any organic material like bird icky, tree sap, grass stains. GL'ers have actually used it on their water scooters, boats, golf carts, side-by-sides. One fella, and I didn't press him on what the deal was, but he actually said he used it on a stain on his clothes. I thought I'd just leave that one lie.
Can I
there.
tell you something?
Whoa.
Yeah, you go ahead,
Whoa.
Mr. Mayor.
Drove back from Chicago, cars covered in bugs, sprayed
Yeah.
the front end with the stuff,
Yeah, Bugs Be Gone.
and then went to the touchless car wash. Bing, bang, boom.
Yeah, that's a great tip right there. As you're waiting in line, blast the windshield, and it's amazing. The acquisition of Bugs Be Gone, though, that's something to consider. If you can find it at Fleet Farm, big box stores, knack hardware stores. But here's the deal. when you see it, buy multiple spray bottles, or if they carry that refill concentrate jug, buy that too. You're going to need it. There's two things in life you're always going to need till the very end: toilet paper and Bugs Be Gone. Make sure you're well stocked on both of them. And you know what? Share it with friends and family. That's the GL way. A wonderful product in a world of dead insects. Bugs Be Gone.
Let's turn to our own University of Minnesota, where, according to the College Fix, they kind of follow the failed academy.
Okay.
Someone complained that either a graduate student or a professor used biologically correct language when referring to women, according to a bias report obtained by the College Fix. They called someone a mother. Among the more than 100 bias response and referral network reports filed between July 2024 and March of 2026 were 3 that addressed the same controversy. A graduate student reported someone for complaining about having to change grant proposal language from mother to lactating individual. You can't call that a mother.
Point of privilege. Point of privilege.
Yes, please.
The Fix obtained a spreadsheet of bias reports via a public health records request. This one is one of 15% that involve gender identity, sexual orientation, or gender expression. Of 117 bias reports, roughly 50% came from students at either undergraduate or graduate level, while 29% of complaints came from staff, faculty, or professionals. Nearly 20% of the bias reports came from sources with an unknown relationship to the school. About 1 in 4 complaints involve online communications or graffiti. And someone also stole their rainbow safe space doormat.
Wow, which is highly sought after, by the way.
I wonder if that made its way to somebody's fish house or something.
In fact, it wasn't even stolen.
Ironic.
I should have completed the sentence.
Oh.
The rainbow safe space doormat had been flipped over or kicked aside.
Oh, that's worse.
That's even worse. That's more
Terrible.
insulting.
Was probably done by a lactating individual.
I bet. That's worse than taking your shoe off and hitting the statue with it to show your.
So, would we be
disapproval.
considered non-lactating individuals?
Yes.
I could give it a go at any time. You let me know.
I've got nipples.
Get the
Can you-
machine.
Yeah, I've got nipples.
Another
You wanna milk
report.
me?
Another report based on gender identity and religion was an August 2025 incident where a student reported a street evangelist for saying, "Remember, only male and female," and trying to convert the reporter to Christianity outside the university's Kaufman Memorial Union. Another report, that's the Rainbow Safe Space floor mat. That was a big one. Meanwhile, 20 reports were classified as bias against national origin, and 40 reports were classified as bias against race. I'm just trying to find that. Well, they're all outrageous, but one incident involved a student reporting observing a Panda Express employee mistreating an international student because of limited English proficiency. There's one here where a non-university community member expressed concern about a faculty member's research. I don't know. This is it's just so obscene that I can't read it. Much of it involves free speech, which of course is being taken away by these bias reports. So there you have it. You can't.
The people that complain here, Joe, both the students and the faculty, do you have a prediction for how the rest of their life is going to turn out in the real world once they leave the failed academy?
Yeah, but I got a theory about that too. Is that me?
I just called you. I'm sorry. I was trying to get your attention.
My
but
phone was on loud.
Your
I never have it
peripheral
on
vision
loud.
is horrible.
The expectation is if you're filing a complaint about lactating individual as opposed to mother, yes, your life's going to be really weird. But I think the real world, what we used to call the real world, is suffering because the real world continues to be more heavily populated by these failed academy people. And they're bringing that to the workplace.
That's what I was hoping you were going to say, because I was wondering how would that go over in the private sector. You're working for a privately held company, and you pull that bullshit in the office. Are we going to go down to HR? Is this going to be a whole deal, or is the boss going to laugh at you and tell you if you don't like it, you can beat it? Get out of here.
It depends on the size of the corporation. Major corporations probably already have people in place to address this. I would imagine. But you're Bert and you're running a welding shop with 15 people, you're still going to get away with anything. But not.
What do you mean by get away with anything?
Well, I mean, you're no
Say
one's
what
going
you want.
to. You can say mother and no one's going to confront you.
Well, think
You
of
can
all the
say
emails.
father and no one's going to confront you.
Think of all the emails we've seen through the years at our job, congratulating moms and dads on the birth of their
You're right. With the
son
picture.
and or daughter, and they always say, "Here's the proud mother."
And a lot of these, the files were classified as race-based bias, but they did not offer any information about what happened or who they believed the concern was about. Well, that's just attempting to limit free speech.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, you heard this, but you can't tell me who and when
Right.
and what it was about. Okay. Maybe you need to go sit down a few minutes.
It's just a shame. It's turning these kids in the failed academy into stooges. They're reporting this. Well, I was grateful to learn that there aren't that many reports, but they're ridiculous. They're
Well, the world-
absolutely ridiculous.
my-
They run counter to the purpose of
Yeah.
a university.
My attitude is the world is going to eat them up. You go out in the world with that kind of nonsense, the world is just going to devour you.
Who am I quoting here? It's a piece that was in Alpha News, but it's from the College Fix. But there's a fellow saying that universities shouldn't allow anonymous reporting. They shouldn't be collecting data on reports that can't be investigated. This is a mentality that runs counter to the purpose of a university. You're supposed to be encouraging free speech instead of reporting it.
Right.
This is outrageous, completely outrageous, but it's why we have who's elected. It's why we have the failed academy. We've had it too good for too long. That might be the overarching problem in this country. We've had it so good for so long that we're going the other way.
Yeah. You were referring to Steve McGuire, and he said, while students must have ways to report harassment and discrimination, several of the reported incidents in the list appear to concern issues about which where there is legitimate disagreement.
Who's he?
Um,
He's affiliated with the U of M.
yeah, and he says allowing bias reporting encourages an illiberal mentality
Well, good for him.
that runs counter to the purpose of a university.
Yeah, of course it does. It's absolutely
He said
ridiculous.
universities should encourage people to talk to each other instead of reporting on one another. He called me a bad word, Mom. Mm-hmm. That kind of nonsense.
I should have read this when we were talking about the curse, but the Mink has written in, and he said, what bugs me about the Angie Craig Peggy Flanagan conundrum is that some of us are left with no choice. Personally, I'll vote for neither, but we know we are going to get a Democrat. It's just a matter of how far left on the spectrum they are. This seems to happen in other races with more frequency. We can have what passes for a moderate traditional Democrat. That's how I'm going to add my own words here. That's how I imagine Amy will position herself, which would be far left of any standard of old DFLers or a lunatic lefty with little or nothing to offer. It's almost as if it's set up that way. Maybe we can't get a goof like Flanagan elected, but let's nominate the fringe candidate anyway and encourage the moderately sane candidate as well, just in case. We still end up with somebody considerably further left than we want and are so relieved it's not the nut job. It's acceptable. We're just frogs in the slow boil. And then he says, I know Reynolds is calling. They want their tinfoil hat back. And speaking of Angie Craig, he thinks Angie and the Queer Currency is a good name for a band, and I can't.
Angie and the Queer Currency.
That's not a bad. It'd be a good name for a lesbian blues band. And he said, you can be Angie, meaning you.
Oh. What?
In another development,
One lactation joke in him.
In another development, the Mink writes, he announces that the Great Sharpening, remember the giant pencil sculpture over on Lake of the Isles
I
area?
drove by it a couple of weeks ago.
Well, the sharpening is set for this Saturday.
Wow.
So he said, I don't intend to go, but if GL requests a report, I would be happy to attend to provide a Mink's eye view of the proceedings. You know what, Mink? We're going to let you off the hook. We don't really care if they sharpen it again. We covered that once. And people stand around, and I guess that's quite exciting, and they sharpen the pencil. But how many times can you really get worked up about it?
A good reason to go over there is to see the well-manicured Pro Turf lawns. Those people care. I don't have an ad here, but those people, that neighborhood.
That was a perfect segue.
That neighborhood, they care and they take pride in their lawns, and it's really nice to see.
Well, I'm happy.
As opposed to you people over in St. Paul.
What do you mean, you people?
I've told you guys. And
By the way,
gals,
Joe,
too.
I drove by there a couple weeks ago with the roommate, and I tried to explain to her. She saw this pencil. I tried to explain to her the whole concept, and she goes, "Aren't you glad we don't live here anymore?" How is that? And my argument is, how is that any worse than the big ball of twine?
It's not.
No, it's not.
Is
Not
the
at all.
pencil yellow?
Yeah.
Did the guy
yeah.
paint
it's
the
a
tree?
Number, it's a number 2, Joe.
Oh, it's got Faber on it, number 2, and the whole deal.
Kenny makes a good point, though. Yesterday we were driving, right? And by this massive, massive yard out in the middle of the country, right? And this guy is going up and down in his riding mower, and my 14-year-old goes, "Boy, that's a lot of work." I go, "Buddy, that's the happiest guy on the freaking planet right
Plus,
now."
he's been married 60 years, and she's in there right now.
And was he looking? Did he always look over his shoulder at his path?
No, he couldn't have gone slower in that thing. He's just enjoying the day.
If you drive down the Wisconsin side of the river from here to La Crosse, you go through many quaint little towns.
Yeah.
And in every town, there's a guy on his deer mowing the lawn, and he's looking over his shoulder to check the path.
Yeah.
John
Every
Deere.
town on not a real deer, on a John Deere. I'm
Hello.
not riding an animal.
Rudolph.
I find myself making corrections. I'll look down the road. And,
Absolutely.
what the hell was I doing on that trip?
You
And
were
I'll-
daydreaming.
I'll start over. And you pick a point way out there and just laser focused on that point.
I'm addressing this to all you guys and gals who need a truck for your work, and I don't care what kind of truck. Rosedale Chevrolet has the truck because they're a business elite dealer. That means they have more inventory of ready-to-go trucks than any other dealer around. And I mean any kind of box trucks, low cab forwards, pickups in all sizes, express cutaway box trucks, dump trucks, Silverados. They got empty frames.
Come on.
Build your own damn truck.
Yep.
They have everything in stock, ready to go right now today at Rosedale Chevrolet. I know you guys. You're in the brickwork business, and the lawn care business, and the electric business, and the HVAC business. You need a truck. Get to Rosedale Chev, County Road C and 35W in Roseville. You can't miss it. The greatest inventory of every imaginable truck you need for your job. Rosedale Chev, one word, rosedalechev.com.
who spends hours in hardware stores sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
Well, maybe Mr. Krabby Coffee Shop Pants should take his own advice and just sign up for the coffee subscription there at customroasting.net. Here's the deal. Our partners at Custom Roasting, they're right there in Buffalo, Minnesota. They've got a couple, 2-3 options for ordering coffee on the web. By the way, the best cup of coffee you'll ever have, in my opinion. Try some, see for yourself. One of the options is you sign up to receive 2 pound and 3/4 bags of either dark or light roast blends. In my case, it's French roast and the Boundary Waters blend. You'll receive that 3.5 pounds of your favorite coffee every month. They just pull that money right out of your account. You don't have to think about it. It just shows up. Get to the website, customroasting.net. Click on the shop tab, and then you can explore all the GL options. I got to do it. I said I was going to. I didn't. Now I have to sign up for the subscription. Since I can't seem to remember to reorder, then I run out, and then it's a fiasco. You know the whole deal. It's a great deal on a wonderful cup of coffee, and it's all available from the official coffee supplier of both GL and the Krabby Coffee Shop, customroasting.net.
Here's John Heidt.
Where am I?
Thank you, Joe.
Over there somewhere.
Hi, Kenny. I see you.
Hi, John.
This news is brought to you by North American Banking Company. As we told you about, it was endorsement weekend in Minnesota.
Endorsement?
Endorsement.
Okay.
Endorsement.
Viva asked the question.
Minnesota Republican Party State Convention in Duluth endorsed 5 candidates this weekend. Just after 9 o'clock Saturday in the evening, Kendall Qualls secured the endorsement for governor over Minnesota House Speaker Lisa Demuth. But the process to get there wasn't without some issues. Voting on the first ballot for governor began around 12:45 p.m., but saw a delay on the 6th ballot when some of the electronic vote clickers were left open longer than usual. Number of voters dropped by several hundred between the 4th and 5th ballots. Delegates were trying to decide whether to continue voting with the electronic system or vote on no endorsement. The 2 remaining candidates for governor at that point, Qualls and Demuth, spoke to delegates, with Qualls accusing the, quote, corrupt St. Paul swamp of trying to create issues and delays because of electronic voting issues, and Demuth responding by saying election integrity matters. The voting continued, and on the 10th ballot, Qualls secured at least 60% of the votes for endorsement to close out the convention. Biggest prize on the first day of the Republican State Convention went to former Navy SEAL and U.S. Marine Adam Schwarz, who won the party endorsement for U.S. Senate. That endorsement battle lasted several hours, but Schwarz topped every ballot until he exceeded the 60% needed to put him over the top. Former NFL sideline reporter and podcaster Michelle Tafoya was second on every ballot, and Royce White in third until he was finally eliminated after the 4th ballot. Ron Schultz was endorsed by the Republicans for Attorney General by unanimous consent, the only Republican running in that race. And Nate George was endorsed for State Auditor over Elliot Engen and Scott Jensen. For Secretary of State, Tad Jude was endorsed Friday night over Wendy Phillips and David Meisner.
So our biggest Republican candidate for Senate is a guy that I've never really heard of.
Matthew, nobody has.
Did Tafoya intend to abide by the endorsement? Do we know that?
What I saw this weekend was yes.
Okay.
But
this is all before the shenanigans.
The roommate tells me that it's Tafoya's stance on abortion that killed her chances with the hardliners, the hardcore Republicans.
And she outraised everybody, including Flanagan.
What is Tafoya's stance on abortion?
She doesn't care.
Oh.
That's my way of putting it.
I don't think that's a direct quote.
Yeah,
that's not
kind
a
of an
direct
odd way to
quote. Just so I'm not defending her either.
Let's be clear. That's Kenny.
Okay.
John, I'm curious with the voting snafu that took place over the weekend.
Yeah.
Is Pillow Guy going to sue this one too, or is he going to just kind of let it go?
A good question. Although now he's not dropped out, so he'll be part of the Republican primary.
Mike, go away.
You want to ruin Minnesota,
Right
or you
against
just keep dragging Trump into it?
Qualls.
Meanwhile,
Meanwhile,
sorry, John. Speaking of
uh-huh.
voting, Joe, still have not received a response for Ilhan Omar's town hall from last
town hall
week.
came and went.
Yeah, I never got a response, so just letting you know, I was going to catch you up to date on that.
Meanwhile, no big surprises at the state Democratic convention, which took place in Rochester. The party endorsing Amy Klobuchar in the run for governor, Keith Ellison for attorney general, Peggy Flanagan for the U.S. Senate, and Zach Filipovich for state auditor.
Go Zach!
A confrontation precipitated a deadly shooting outside an Eid el-Hada prayer service at the Canterbury Park Expo last week, according to the new charging documents. Prosecutors have charged 28-year-old Mohammed Rage with second-degree murder and unlawful gun possession for the shooting that killed Khalid Ibrahim Abdi. Abdi was a field rep for AFSCME Council 5, which described him as a tenacious organizing spirit with a warm, inviting presence. According to a criminal complaint, Abdi's wife and other witnesses told investigators that Rage approached Abdi as the victim and his wife were leaving the expo center and said he wanted to fight. His wife says Abdi responded, "Please leave me alone. I don't wish to fight." Once they got outside, other witnesses said Abdi punched Rage, who was filming and following the couple. As bystanders jumped in to break up the fight, Rage allegedly pulled out a gun and fired 1 or 2 shots at Abdi and ran away. Abdi taken to a hospital but died of a gunshot wound to the chest. It's unclear why Rage was filming Abdi and trying to fight him, but surveillance video noted that Rage had acted animatedly and gestured toward the victim as soon as he got into the expo lobby. Charging documents add a woman Rage initially approached the expo center with, restrained him after the initial verbal confrontation, but he got past her and ran after Abdi outside.
What was Rage's name, John?
It was, let me go back here. His name was Mohammed.
Okay, so he was a Mohammed. All right.
Yeah, they were both. It was a Muslim prayer service.
Right.
Is where the shooting happened in Canterbury.
Thank God it wasn't some white guy from Wadena.
Rage turned himself into police the day after the shooting.
Well, what's happening? Well, because there was reported there was another incident in, I think it was Minneapolis, but this is kind of a turf war situation, correct, John, with rival
I don't
Muslim
know,
gangs.
Rival mosque hanger.
What are they? Yeah, what are they dealing? Or what
well,
is,
it's the same thing. Speaking of
the
Omar,
territory?
that you went against. It's
Maybe he violated his tribe.
It's
the tribal thing.
It's kind of the same line of thinking. Yeah, exactly.
We don't know that, do we?
But not in this. Not in the Canterbury one.
Yeah.
But in the other one that
I
took
see.
place in Minneapolis, that
right.
was the case.
All right.
It's a lot of fun. Great state we got here.
Brooklyn Park police are looking for a suspect in an attempted carjacking that happened just before midnight last night. Investigators say the victim was attacked from behind and pistol whipped, but the man was able to get away with his car keys. The victim said he was taken to the hospital where he was treated for lacerations to his face and the back of his head. According to police, the attempted carjacking comes as Minneapolis police have seen a nearly 28% spike in car thefts this year. In Richfield, police shot and killed a suspected car prowler a few weeks earlier after body camera footage showed him pointing a gun at officers during a foot chase. Police are still looking for suspects in both incidents. A woman recovering after being hit by a falling tree in St. Paul's Mears Park. It happened Friday night, about 6:40, during a Lower Town block party. It was a 30-foot tree. The tree fell and trapped the woman underneath. She was conscious and breathing, taken to Regents Hospital. Authorities say over the weekend the woman listed as stable. People who saw the tree fall say it was sudden. Susan Larson said, "I heard multiple screams of tree, tree. I turned around and the tree was still falling behind me. The woman was very, very lucky," she said. Crow Wing County Sheriff's Office said a 29-year-old man died after drowning at the Little Emily Lake Park swimming area Saturday. The man was at the park with family and friends when emergency responders were dispatched to the scene for rescue efforts, but the man was pronounced dead. His identity has not been released at this time. Earlier this month, a 19-year-old college student drowned on Little Emily Lake after his paddle boat capsized. Officials are warning swimmers about lake temps despite our recent heat. Fire Chief Blair Molesky with Emily Fire and Rescue said lake temperatures have been very cold, now just recently starting to warm up, and that cold weather can play a part, making it more difficult for somebody, even good swimmers, to run. They will run out of energy and breathe faster. The Hennepin County Sheriff's Water Patrol says that even with air temps around 80, water temps in Lake Minnetonka can be as low as 60 degrees.
A question for you guys, jumping back a story. How often do you think about trees falling and killing you?
Well, Kenny, not too often.
The rest of you?
I just don't think about it.
You never think about that?
I do think about branches during a storm.
Yeah,
that
that's
the
about
branches are going to,
Well,
not the
are
whole
you
tree.
standing outside in a storm under a tree?
I have seeking shelter.
How about you, Kenny?
All the time when I'm in the woods, I'm constantly looking up, waiting for one to come down and clobber me.
What a
The
way to
only
live.
thing I'd think about if I was in the woods would be ticks. I wouldn't be worried about a tree.
Well, if a tick falls on you, it's not going to be as bad as a tree,
No, it could be. It could be.
depending if you're treated or not.
That's right.
Why don't we take a quick break here? Thank you, Chris. Take a quick break and hear from the mayor.
I'm
Joe
experiencing a
Souchere.
spring of graduations, and I had to go to an out-of-town one over the weekend. I took a couple of cigars from my Boveda humidor. They obviously survived the trip, stayed fresh. Here's the best deal about this Boveda humidor. You don't have to do anything. It holds 50 cigars. You put the pack in there, the Boveda humidor, what do you call the packs? Humidifiers? I don't know what they are, but they work. And you don't touch it. You don't fill it with water. You don't have to check a gauge. You don't have to get distilled water. You don't have to fool around with sponges and have magic beads.
You don't have to maintain it, is what you're saying.
It's beautiful. It's wood. It's made it's put together in the United States. This thing is fantastic. You swap the pack, the Boveda pack, right out after 6 months, and you go at it again. And so you touch it once during a year. At the 6 month mark,
That's
you put a new
that's
pack
maintenance
in it,
free in my
bing,
opinion.
bang,
It's
boom.
maintenance free.
And that's what I like. I want a maintenance
Maintenance
free
free. 'Tis the
humidor.
season.
This is tremendous luxury in your life, an affordable luxury. It's sharp. It works. You don't have to fuss with it. It'd be a great Father's Day gift. In fact, I already got mine, so I wouldn't be even putting the hint out. But what a great Father's Day gift, because it's something you'll actually use. You know, you don't need another tie. So it's the traditional look, modern precision, zero maintenance. Your only task is to enjoy the cigars. Shop now at Boveda Humidor. That's one word. And Boveda is BOVEDA. BovedaHumidor.com.
spends hours in hardware stores.
Mission
sifting through the
accomplished,
nuts and
Matthew.
bolts of
Honest to
life.
God.
Joe Souchere.
Hey, if a tree falls
Do you hear it in the vault?
at North American Banking Company, does it make a sound, Joe?
Not if you're in the vault.
That's right. So here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. 6 convenient and beautiful Twin Cities locations to serve you. Roseville, 50th in France, Woodbury, Hastings, Shoreview, and Maple Grove. The official bank here in Garage Logic. And you know what? They're here to take care of everything for you, your family, and also for your business. They are locally owned and operated. Here's why that's important. That means that all loan decisions are made right here in the Twin Cities. They do not send these out of state. So this helps all of you business owners solve problems quickly, but also helps you expand your business with confidence. You see, they deal with numbers every single day, but you will never be one of them. But you can... I'm so choked up
I
and
know.
emotional
I
about
love
it.
a bank. It's a
Help
nice
me, help
bank.
me through this, dear God.
See it for yourself. nabankco.com to learn more. It's banking done differently. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender.
Thanks, Chris.
Hi.
I just wanted to tell all those people too cheap to pay for the town council. It's missed a fascinating tree conversation. And that was a conversation that interrupted one about ties that was going to lead to when's the last time you got a tie for a gift. So if you're not willing to pay that money, that's what you're
you
missing.
got to sign up for the
Yeah.
town council.
Two things I think about the most are falling trees and the Roman Empire. I just don't know how they did it back then.
You like chariot races, Kenny?
I love them, Joe.
Yeah.
And now, a man who has never had a relationship with a tree.
Yeah.
Joe Souchere.
In other news, the United States said this morning it has bombed radar and drone sites in Iran after Tehran shot down an American drone over the weekend. Iran then said it targeted American soldiers in Kuwait with missiles, which the U.S. says it shot down. The nominal ceasefire between Iran and the U.S. has been repeatedly tested with those sort of back-and-forth attacks, even as officials from both countries try to negotiate an end to the war. It's not clear how close they are to a deal, and meanwhile, we found out this morning Iranian negotiators say they will stop exchanging messages with the U.S. through intermediaries, and Tehran will move to fully close the Strait of Hormuz in a retaliation for ongoing ceasefire violations. That according to Iran's state-affiliated news outlet Tasnim. The report in a translated post on the social media site Telegram homed in on Israel's military ops in Lebanon against the Iran-backed militia Hezbollah. No dialogue will take fully place until Israel withdraws, it said, from occupied areas in Lebanon. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordering troops to move farther into Lebanon in the battle against Hezbollah. The fighting in Lebanon has been the broadest spillover of the Iran war, displacing more than 1.2 million Lebanese through Israeli strikes and evacuation orders since March 2nd, when Hezbollah began firing rockets and drones into Israel to support its ally, Iran. The war between Israel and Hezbollah could have implications in the U.S. war with Iran. Iran has said any peace deal with the U.S. will have to end the war in Lebanon. The bodies of all 9 missing workers at that Washington State paper facility where a chemical tank exploded last week have been recovered and identified, bringing the death toll to 11, according to authorities. The explosion at the Nippon Dynawave Packaging Company in Longview, Washington, happened the morning of May 26th when a tank containing white liquor used to make paper ruptured, releasing hundreds of thousands of gallons of chemicals. Authorities initially said 1 person was killed, 9 injured, including with chemical burns. One of the injured people later died, and 9 employees were unaccounted for at first. With the finding of their bodies, the death toll at 11. More than 1,100 people suspected of having contracted Ebola in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda. That, according to the head of the Africa Union's health agency. Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Director Jean Kaseya said there were 263 confirmed cases in both countries as of Saturday, with 43 confirmed deaths. More than 1,100 suspected cases still being investigated, he wrote. The virus, which can cause a deadly fever accompanied by hemorrhaging, has been detected in 3 Congolese provinces as well as Uganda. No vaccine or approved treatment is available against the Bundibugyo strain of the virus, and efforts to contain its spread mainly rely on preventive measures. Some people, a handful, have been treated and already released from hospitals, according to authorities, after the virus was caught early. World Health Organization has triggered an international health alert, but the true scale of the outbreak not yet known. International health authorities think the current figures are likely an underestimation.
Well, you don't want to get that.
John, what was?
Tis not the season.
No.
What was the strain of that virus?
Booga booga.
Bunda. No, let's see.
Come on, tell the
Bundi?
truth now. You just made that up, didn't you?
Bunda Bunda?
Bundy Bugyo.
Bundy Boogie.
Bundy Bugio.
Bundibugyo.
To the house.
Bundy Bugio.
Boondy go, boondy go, boondy go, boondy go, boom.
Bunda Bugyo.
You know, I believe that's the first time in the history of Garage Logic that you have emulated Matthew.
Yeah, it was pretty weak. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
he beat me to
You
the
don't
punch
want to
there.
get that.
You don't want to get that.
Beat me to the punch.
But if I don't think it's being sold as a national panic. It's
Well, yeah, because it's not a presidential election year.
I guess not. Yeah.
U.S. military.
He won't bite. Damn it.
No, I'm not. I've given up biting, Chris. Sorry.
All right.
U.S. military said it carried out another strike Saturday on a boat accused of smuggling drugs in the eastern Pacific Ocean, killing 3 men in the 4th attack this week, putting the total death toll at 205. U.S. Southern Command announced the strike with its usual language that the vessel was engaged in narco-trafficking operations and operated by a designated terrorist organization. It provided no further evidence. It's the latest in a months-long campaign against alleged drug boats traversing the Caribbean Sea and Eastern Pacific. Video released by the military on social media shows a small vessel floating in the ocean before it's hit and engulfed in a fireball. Federal judge ordered the removal of President Trump's name from the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts on Friday, ruling the Trump administration's rebranding of the institution is illegal. U.S. District Court Judge Christopher Cooper said the Kennedy Center must remove Trump's name from the institution's title within 14 days. That includes taking down the recently installed signage on the center's facade and stripping Trump's name from the center's website on other official materials. Cooper is an appointee of former President Barack Obama. He also overturned Trump's planned 2-year closure of the Kennedy Center that was set to begin in July to accommodate massive renovations to the building. As expected, the president reacted to the ruling on Truth Social, calling the judge a leftist and going after the judge and his wife. His wife is an attorney. Maria Shriver, the niece of former President Kennedy, also responded to the ruling, described the decision as, in her words, inappropriate birthday present on the anniversary of her uncle's birth. Shriver noted that the Trump administration could still appeal and the story isn't over, but said the family would celebrate the ruling for now anyway. Meanwhile, President Trump called Saturday for the cancellation of those upcoming concerts that celebrate America's 250th anniversary after several musical acts backed out, saying they should be replaced by a political rally that would be headlined by himself. He said we should have a giant Make America Great Again rally for 250 instead of having overpriced singers whom nobody wants to hear, whose music is boring, and yet who do nothing but complain. The concerts were scheduled to kick off June 25th as a part of a major event on the National Mall organized by Freedom 250, a Trump-backed public-private entity. Trump added, "So I'm thinking about bringing the number one attraction anywhere in the world, the man who gets much larger audiences than Elvis in his prime, and the man who some say is the greatest president in history, the GOAT, Donald J. Trump, to take the place of those highly paid third-rate artists."
I haven't heard that yet.
What's that?
That he's the greatest president of all time, that he's the GOAT, that he's...
The GOAT.
Yeah.
I liked all the stories. That everybody knows what GOAT means, right? Every
Greatest of all time.
Yeah, every news story had to put it in parentheses like, nobody knows what this means. We better tell them. And United Airlines flight UA236.
Come on.
A Boeing 767-400ER departed Newark Liberty International Airport at 5:58 Saturday afternoon, heading for Palma de Mallorca, Spain. However, roughly an hour and a half into the transatlantic journey, a routine flight dissolved into confusion for the passengers on board. According to passengers sharing their experience on social media, flight attendants suddenly took to the PA system with an urgent command. All passengers were ordered to turn off their Bluetooth connections immediately. The crew issued multiple increasingly tense announcements saying the directive came straight from United's corporate headquarters in Chicago, Crew members warned if the active Bluetooth signals were not disabled, the plane would be forced to turn around. The panic subsided into frustration once the true nature of the threat came to light. The emergency wasn't sparked by a technical glitch or a cyber attack, but by a prank. Live ATC net audio archives from the Newark ramp and company frequencies later confirmed a passenger, reported to be a 16-year-old boy, had customized the discoverable network name of his personal Bluetooth speaker to read BOMB. B-O-M-B.
That kid's in a lot of
Kid's a
trouble.
complete idiot.
Plus
I
the
saw
kid's a
this.
moron.
What a dummy.
But I'd like to know, would really love to know the last person that refused to shut off their Bluetooth on this plane in this
Oh,
situation.
there were people that are like, I'm not.
No, I am way too important. I've
Yep.
got things to take care of.
There were two of them, actually. I'll get to that in just a second. Because Bluetooth signals broadcast to any nearby smartphones or laptops looking to pair, that name, BOMB, popped up on the screens of passengers and crew members inside the cabin, instantly triggering protocol. The aircraft landed safely back at Newark Liberty International Airport, where it was met by a massive law enforcement presence, including airport police and federal agents. Passengers were deplaned with only their passports and phones, loaded onto buses and driven around the tarmac for about an hour while security personnel secured the gate. To ensure the offending device hadn't been discarded or passed off, all passengers were required to clear TSA airport security a second time, while the aircraft and checked luggage underwent a thorough sweep. United Airlines has not yet released an official statement regarding potential criminal charges or lifetime bans for the teenager involved. Passengers, while relieved to be safe, expressed immense frustration over the multi-hour ordeal. One traveler summing up the cabin's collective mood online, saying this little joke ruined it for everyone. As I said, everybody on the plane except two people turned off their Bluetooth. There you have it.
Two people, Joe. Just
Two
people.
There you have
Joe
it.
would have had his off first. He's
I became
compliant.
disconnected. Thank you, John.
Joe
welcome.
doesn't know what Bluetooth is.
No.
He thinks it's the one that fell out of his mouth about 6 months
yeah.
ago.
What is that thing?
The
That thing's
Bluetooth
still floating
How do you
around?
know that
crawling
one's
around on
mine?
the floor looking
Where is
for
that?
his
I don't think
Bluetooth.
that's mine.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God. And Rookie found it, and he asked, are you sure that one's mine?
that one mine.
Today's the
There's
first
about 6 of
day
them down here.
of meteorological summer. Get out to EcoFun Motorsports and grab an electric bike. There are 400 in stock. They're on sale starting at $799. It is really a fun way to ride bicycles all year long. EcoFun Motorsports is the most fun store you'll ever enter. It's on Highway 97 out Forest Lake Columbus Way, just west of 35. A couple of roundabouts and you're there. And it's not only the electric bikes, it's motorcycles, scooters, youth recreational equipment, water equipment, wave runners and jet skis at preseason sale prices. And you get a wave runner or a jet ski and you're getting a new $1,500 trailer with the deal. As I said, it's the most fun store you'll ever enter. And it's really a dangerous website because, well, it is for me because I get too tempted. EcoFun Motorsports, one word. EcoFunMotorsports.com. It's also down in Burnsville on the Service Road of Life near County Road 42. EcoFunMotorsports.com.
there's a guy.
This thing is all goofed up here.
Did you double click the
Is that
explosion?
his cylinder index or his golf score? Either way, it's a big number. Here's Joe Souchere.
You know, the funny thing is, I was talking with a coworker earlier this week, and I asked that coworker what separates other roofers from in your opinion,
I hand you
from
a
others.
softball.
And you know what he said? He paused for a moment, and he put his index finger on his lip a couple times, touched it. I know the clock is ticking, but this is very important. And he said, "How long have they been in business?" And I said, "Well, Godfather, they've been around for 88 years. I'm talking about Walker Roofing." He said, 3 generations. I said, "Yes, Godfather."
That's the key.
He said, "Well, that's the key." Well, see, right there. This guy did the same thing you just said.
Yeah.
And he said, if I had a roofing company that was working on my roof that's been around for 88 years and 3 generations, I would trust them to know their business. I would trust their reputation, their honesty, their integrity. And I would also trust them even more if they were awarded a 50-year milestone anniversary by the Better Business Bureau. Well, they were at Walker Roofing. They do things right. Check them out online, walkerroofing.com. Call them old school at 651-251-0910. But that's what you got in your back pocket with Walker Roofing. 88 years, 3 generations, backed by the BBB. walkerroofing.com.
I have an email here that will warm the hearts of any GL'er who likes to find neat stuff in an old garage.
Shoot, yes.
Here
I'm
we
listening.
go.
Yeah.
Joe, I've been a daily listener of GL since the AM 1500 days, back when callers would start their cylinders for you. I experienced something recently that is right up your alley. Back in 1979, my uncle Earl purchased a 1966 Ford Thunderbird 2-door hardtop town sedan equipped with the high-performance 428 cubic inch Q-Code V8. The legendary high-torque FE block motor came with a 4-barrel Holley carburetor that was rated at 345 horsepower from the factory. The car was bought out in California and in showroom condition with 75 miles on it. In 1984, 5,000 miles later, Earl decided to park the car in the garage for an unusually long hibernation. He was 49 at the time, which made me wonder why. The car was beautiful with every available option, leather, factory AC, etc. He was always very meticulous while putting things in storage, say for the winter. Up on blocks, removed the battery, drained the fuel, and so on. One of his faults was the fact that he was extremely thrifty and would never throw anything away, truly evident when attempting to enter either of the garages. Earl died last fall at 91. Now that warm weather has arrived, it was time to clean out the garage. I would like to enclose some pictures, but in case I can't, he did send me one picture that came through. Let me give you a brief description of what was presented to us when we opened the garage doors. This particular garage was 2 stalls with 2 doors. We had to fight our way through the service door just to clear things away from the big doors, allowing us to open them. Standing outside looking in, you would have no idea that there was a car in there. You could see part of a boat. And, of course, I stopped right there. I got to know the kind of boat.
Right.
But the picture showed that. It's an old boat, and it's fiberglass, but it's very old, and it looked pretty cool.
Just like on Golden Pond.
Not really. Standing outside, you would have no idea there was a car in there. You could see part of a boat, but not the additional 4 boat motors and 2 car engines. There are way too many items to list, especially if I was sure I could paint the proper picture for you. Anyway, after almost a full day of clearing out and sorting 60 years of keepsakes, we found the Thunderbird. My uncle had it well protected under multiple layers of moving blankets, cardboard, plastic. He even had the plywood standing against the sides to protect it. We uncovered the car and was shocked at its condition. After not seeing the light of day for 42 years, aside from some dust, it looked like he put it away last Tuesday. I opened the door, expecting to see mouse nests, chewed wires, droppings, and more. There was nothing, and what I feared the most was the interior. Now, the garage has been quiet and dark for the last few years, with no one entering it and disturbing the rodent parties. I was totally prepared to open the car doors and be blasted with the aroma of mouse urine and droppings, maybe even seeing them scatter. However, to my amazement, when I opened the car door, I was greeted with a smell that almost resembled perfume. Further inspection of every nook and cranny of the interior showed no evidence of any infestation. The original owner's manual was in the console. Unbelievably, 42 years old, and the car is in the same condition as when he put it away. Wait a minute. 42 years old. 1962.
60, wasn't it 66? So it'd be
66.
60
yeah.
years.
66.
Yeah,
So is
60
he
years.
referring to how long it's been parked?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Unbelievably, after 42 years, the car was in the same condition it was when it was put away. The leather was soft and like new. The headliner was like new. The carpet, too. I could not get into the trunk yet. We haven't found the keys. Now, that doesn't mean that it's mechanically sound. We don't know what the brake lines, seals, gaskets, and all look like, yet I'm thoroughly impressed. I'm not sure what the next move is. That car was supposed to go to Earl's son, Brad, but Brad died less than a year before Earl. Talking to my 91-year-old aunt, she mentioned selling it, along with the boat and 4 boat motors, a couple of which are antiques in really great shape. Not sure if this piques your interest or anyone in your circle. We have another 2-stall garage and a basement to tackle soon. Tons of cool stuff that is a little overwhelming. Just thought that maybe you would find this interesting and maybe intriguing enough that you might want to either look into further or know someone who does. Either way, love the show. Always have good luck, and I'll be damned if I'm telling you where this is.
Yeah, Gabe and I would like to go check that out first just to see what's
And
hanging
good
around.
luck. I'll just say good luck, John.
Back
That's
up
his
to the
real
beginning.
name.
What engine was in it? Was it the,
The biggest you
428?
could get.
So it's the Q code 428. Super rare.
He said Q code V8 428 cubic inch, 385 horse. I'm sorry, 345 horsepower.
So general value on these barn finds in that model 66 in restorable condition, $3,000 to $7,000. That's for non-running. I would put that thing $7,000 to $10,000 if you've got that engine, because those matching numbers mean everything to collect.
Plus, I love the 66 T-Bird. Look,
I know
love
you
it.
do. Yeah, I know you do.
Love it.
That's really something.
I'd tell
boy.
you where it is, but I just can't yet.
Can I make a copy of that for you?
No, I got it right here.
You should. Let's pretend we're off the air, okay?
No, we're not.
Yeah,
we're not
do that.
off the air,
Go
and
buy
I'm not
that
going to
thing.
pretend.
Go buy that thing.
Oh, well, plus I'm just as interested in the boats, and plus,
Oh, I want to walk through it.
plus we have an undiscovered, unopened garage in this email.
Bring.
He hasn't opened another garage yet.
You got to bring $20K down there.
Why don't you help me a little bit and not mention that I have to bring $20K?
Because I don't have any money.
How many $100 bills is $20,000, Matthew?
John,
Bring that
I don't know
many.
what it's
That's
worth,
enough.
but it's not worth $20K in that condition.
No, but I'm saying you're going to need 10 for that car, and you're going to need another 10 for the miscellaneous
Plus
stuff that has
you're
yet to be discovered.
Yeah.
John, don't just not you, John, the car guy,
Oh, I
John, the
thought you were
garage
me.
guy.
I'm sorry.
Not
Yeah,
John.
I'm sorry.
That's his name, but
Johnny's got a 57 Telecaster there, TV white.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Can I come
yeah.
with?
Matthew, where would you assess the value of that particular vehicle?
It's been sitting a while. So I'm going to go probably $6-7 grand.
humans
Human?
losing sight of nature.
Humans losing sight of nature.
Well, we got to take ourselves out to Yellowstone here.
Oh, no.
And we get some people were in line going through the park in their cars, and they took a video of a woman who come in the other direction. She parked her car, went across the highway, and approached a bison.
Ugh.
And
Dummy.
the bison turned on her, and she turned around and ran like crazy and did a full face plant right on the highway. The people filming it are laughing their heads off. She got up. She was all right, racing
Wounded.
across the highway, did the face plant, got up, raced back to her car, and got in. Well, people have lost their sight of nature. What did this idiot expect? And the comments were hilarious. She has the survival skills of a French fry. A third wrote, even the buffalo was confused to watch her run away. You don't get out of your car in Yellowstone.
Right.
This dates back to the Royce days. Remember when Richard parked the car in Yellowstone and they were,
Hey,
let's walk up to these
go see
buffalo,
these
and they
guys.
ran back to the station wagon.
Really?
They had about 7 people in it because they were taking Aunt Bertha someplace.
I've never heard
Yes.
that.
Oh,
story.
yeah. Are you out there? I'm here. What was the deal when Richard drove into Yellowstone?
Jesus, nobody can hear him.
It was a moose.
Down by the river.
It was a moose down by the river.
We had
It had
Kathleen and Cecilia.
Kathleen
my
and
cousin,
Cecilia
Aunt
were in
Peggy,
Aunt Peggy,
my father,
Father
my mother,
Richard, Mom,
me,
me,
me, my brother, and my sister.
and Pat and his brother and his sister. How many? That's about 8?
Eight in the station wagon.
That's almost a
And,
baseball team.
Wasn't one with a back, and the back kind of faced the other way. It was a Ford something.
Yeah.
Country Squire.
Okay, there's 8 in the wagon. Richard
the
stops it. You're gonna because he sees a moose.
He's gonna go. I don't know what he wanted to do with them. We already fed crackers to the bears, so that was
He fed crackers to the bears already.
already. Yeah,
Yeah.
the cracker. They were very gentle. They liked the crackers.
They're appreciative.
Yeah, right. They didn't kill anybody.
All right.
But the moose came charging. Richard went down to take a photo of the moose.
Whereas the other
I
7
think-
people are looking out the window of the
And
station
I
wagon.
think the moose had some urchins
Yeah.
and felt that the urchins were threatened, and she came charging through the bush and stuff, and the old man came hauling ass up to the thing, jumped in the car, and saved his life by about 5 feet.
Wow.
Love
All
that.
right, thank you. I knew you were back there. So
And other wildlife, he also killed Rudolph.
yeah, he did
Yeah,
kill
we've
Rudolph.
heard about that one. Yeah.
If you haven't heard that one, Richard shot a deer. Oh my God! Painted the nose red.
No,
I was a young one.
The
very
nose
small.
red. Strapped it to the hood of the car and drove through neighborhood saying, "Sorry, kids, I didn't mean to."
I read a story.
What?
You got the bells around the neck.
Yeah, put the bells
Yeah,
around the
jingle
neck.
the whole
bells.
thing. He dressed it up. I read a story last week about how we have road rage now in Yellowstone Park because I don't know if you've been there recently, but it's a parking lot.
I haven't been there recently.
It's incredible. And somebody needed to go like 70 and was just honking and brake standing people. And
Well, there's no relationship to nature anymore with our.
who's in a hurry to get through the park? Seriously, come on.
There's no reason you should be hurrying.
Unless you have to go number 2.
Only
Right.
because one of the traveling linemen's coming in here Wednesday.
they will be here Wednesday, sir.
Wednesday. We're going to have them in person.
That's right.
But right now they're in Eden Prairie, and it's only because these come to us all the way. They've come to us from around the world.
By the way, I replayed their first visit with us on Friday in the best of.
Yeah.
The most underrated part of the lineman's first visit with us is
Yeah.
when we go to Patrick on the phone,
Yeah.
talking how the game of flaws would have how that would work on an excursion
Wouldn't
like the
work
Lions.
out real well.
No, but it's such a great listen.
On this day,
Joe, today is June 1st.
in 1849, on this day, Minnesota Territory was legally organized when Territorial Governor Alexander Ramsey signed a proclamation written by Judge David Cooper. On this day,
June 1st.
in 1853, Ojibwe historian William Whipple Warren. Didn't we have him just the other day?
That was last week.
William Whipple Warren died from tuberculosis in St. Paul at the age of 28. Decades after his death in 1885, the Minnesota Historical Society published his book, History of the Ojibwe People. On this day,
Joe, today is June 1st.
in 1927, Harper & Brothers published the first English edition of Ole E. Rolvog's Giants in the Earth, a novel of Norwegian immigration to the Great Plains. Rolvog, a professor at St. Olaf College, wrote the original text in Norwegian. He had to be related to Karl Rolvog, didn't he? I wonder.
Probably not a comedy, huh?
No. On this day,
June 1st.
in 1979, Jerry Speece departed from Chesapeake Bay in his 10-foot sailboat Yankee Girl, built in his White Bear garage in 1977. After a solo voyage across the Atlantic, Speece arrived in Falmouth, England on July 24, 1979.
To a nice welcome.
I saw him testing that boat on White Bear.
Yeah, he's a White Bear
Little
guy.
teeny thing. God, it was just
You
incredible.
old Yankee girl.
On this day,
June 1st.
in 2002, the University of Minnesota Gophers men's golf team won its first National Collegiate Athletic Association National Championship. This is out of order. On this day,
June 1st.
in 1859, the steamboat Anson Northrop began working on the Red River in an effort to cash in on the lucrative Red River Valley trade and to improve connections with Fort Garry, later Winnipeg. St. Paul businessmen had offered a $2,000 prize to the first boat to deliver a cargo to Fort Garry. Starting in January, Anson Northrop had traveled with his Mississippi steamer North Star up the Crow Wing River as far as possible. Then he disassembled the 90 by 24-foot boat and began the overland trip with 64 horses and a crew of 60 men.
Really?
Lost their way near Detroit Lakes. They were found by a rescue party from Georgetown and led to Lafayette on the Red River. Northrop's new boat, renamed for him, set out on June 6 and reached Fort Garry on June 10. Subsequently sold and renamed the Pioneer, it remained in service until 1861.
God, they were a sturdy people, weren't they? Wow, what a story.
On this day in sports disappointment history,
Who'd we lose to on June 1st?
on this day in 1976, Bert Blyleven was traded.
After he gave the one-gun salute, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
see. I had to be at that game because it got Dan Winsoda printed the copy of the Tribune. It was my byline.
Right.
I guess I wrote about Bert giving the finger to the crowd.
He also referred to your radio partner as an overweight homosexual.
Was he wrong?
Kenny asked, was he wrong?
What was he wrong about?
I'm not saying that he was wrong. I'm just saying he did it in the crowd.
And what you're saying is, I was a little overweight at the
Did he
time.
say homosexual?
No.
Yeah.
He shortened it up a bit, huh?
No. He went right for the most graphic example.
Got it.
I have a question, however.
Okay, I guess we're going to keep doing the show.
Okay, we're going to keep doing the show. I wanted Kenny for this.
Yeah, he can hear you.
Has there ever been a stronger example of undefeated than we have with the police chief of Minneapolis? Ice didn't bother him at all. He fought Ice gamely. He got rid of him. They were out there shooting people willy-nilly. He fought him. He got him out of here. Undefeated,
Brought
man.
down by undefeated.
He was
The rumor,
brought crashing down by undefeated.
he doesn't have headphones, does
Yes,
he?
he does.
Yes, he does.
The rumor, Patrick, is that, and you're going to have to read between the lines here, that he didn't have any issues finding a date on a Friday night, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
As
Okay.
one great athlete from Minnesota said, hey, man, it's just what I do. It's just what I do.
I've been all the week. I've been driving around saying every once in a while saying undefeated.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
Every time.
Thank you, GL'ers.
Yes. Hi, how are you? Pat had to use my headphones. Do us a favor and hit the subscribe button on the Garage Logic YouTube channel, where you can watch the show each and every single day starting right around noon. And you can also see full segments. There's video shorts. There's behind the scenes footage. Just search Garage Logic on YouTube, along with all of our social media channels. That includes Facebook, Instagram, and X. And you can also sign up for the Daily Logician. That's an email that comes right to your inbox.
This is the greatest invention ever.
Joe's ads.
Joe's ads. Ads.
Yes. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right.